Hello, VC, and whoever's watching. Recently, I've been on a lot of city trips, and just as usual, I checked out the local record stores. So I got a lot of new records, which I want to share with you. And especially on my last trip, which went to Hamburg, I got so many new records that I decided to make a two-part video, just like to separate it a little bit to make it easier to watch. So in the end, it's not like a 20, 30-minute video because overall there will be like 40, 50 new records that I'm going to show to you. So yeah, I decided just to separate it a little bit. First, I want to start with a lot of stuff I got before I went to Hamburg, which was at Nuremberg and Freiburg, lovely cities in Germany. The first one I'm going to show to you is the Rolling Stones. There's No Angel Born in Hell. This is a bootleg. It was released on the Swinging Pig label, and as you can see, it's colored vinyl. And it's like a really cool record, or actually a concert that was recorded because you have two sides and two shows. The first one is from the 1969 tour at the Madison Square Garden in New York, and the other side plays the concert at Monterey, not at Monterey, at Altamont free concert, which the Stones did in California back in 1962. And at this specific concert, someone was killed. The name was Meredith Hunter, and it's like the Rolling Stones had Hell's Angels as security guides at a concert, and yeah, all of a sudden, the song "Under My Thumb," Meredith Hunter just appeared, showing up with a gun, and I think it was especially one Hell's Angel just went immediately on him and stabbed him with a knife, so he got killed. And I think, as the song "Under My Thumb" is on this record in its entirety, that like at this part of the record, someone was killed. So it's from a historic point of view very interesting to have that. And but I didn't know before I bought it. It was just like seeing the bootleg. It was super cheap, and I was really glad to get it, especially like with the Swinging Pig label. It has a very good sound quality. So from kind of historic point of view, it's very interesting to have this record now in my collection. And yeah, I'm glad I got it, especially for the low price. Oh yeah, the next one is Crosby, Stills and Nash, Daylight Again, on the Atlantic label. It's a German pressing. Actually, there's nothing that special about it. It was just like, to be honest, I bought it at the worst record shop I've ever been to. I won't tell you where it was, but it was like there was no system to have order for the records. Like only one fifth of all the records were priced, so every other record was not had no price on it at all. And the prices, the few prices that you saw, they were like insane. Um, like the cover was totally fucked up, the record was warped, and a lot of scratches, etc., etc. And he still wanted to have like the highest prices or like higher prices that I have seen on very good copies of those specific records. So it was super weird, but actually this one was okay. Price was I think like €9 or something. Usually get it like 12 euros up, something like this. And even when I bought it, I went to the guy who sold it to me and he was like, "Oh, that must be an old price," and lucky me and all that. I should be very grateful to get this record that cheap. I was just wondering how much more he uh, would have asked for it, like now. But still, I'm glad to get that I got it, especially Southern Cross and Wasted on Way. I love those records. There's some stuff on it that sounds a bit like 80s, as this is also like an 80s album from Crosby, Stills and Nash, but still it's very nice. It's very cool. And as I want to have like most of their stuff, I'm glad that I got this album to the collection. Next one is a Mike Oldfield record. It's called Incantations, and I think it's the original pressing here on Virgin German First Press. Um, I've heard about or read about it in a book. It's called like Eclipse Rock. It's just the name Rock. They have 5 different books, and they present I think like 20 bands per book, and they just discuss the whole discography of the band. And this one is at one of the top records by Mike Oldfield. And to be honest, I really love Amadon. It's one of my favorite records of all time. Also really like, of course, Tubular Bells. And when I read about it, it's like this is not like the late 80s or the 80s more pop oriented um, stuff that Mike Oldfield released. It's more still on the prog side. It's like four different records or two records, four sides, and they all have like just the titles Incantations Part 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it's kind of an epic musical journey, and I really adore and love this side of Mike Oldfield. So I'm really glad that I got it for a nice price, and can't wait to give it a spin because yeah, to be honest, like there's so many records, new records. I didn't have a chance to listen to all of them, so for some records I can give you like specific recommendations or anything, but yeah, we'll keep going. Yeah, how's that? Stephen Stills, Manassas, Down the Road. This is the second album of the band. It's released on the Atlantic label, German pressing. I really loved the first Manassas album, which is I think self-titled, and it's a great mix of blues rock, country rock. There's so many styles on the records, and it reminds me a little bit of some part of Crosby, Stills and Nash, some parts of the band. It's like um, very original music. I don't know how to explain it, but um, I just love the band, and I'm glad that I got a second record of this band project. And can't wait to give it a spin. Same with the next one. It's the Suffer Hillman Fury Band with three, or maybe you can call it a super group, like with members in the band that were already successful in other bands, like Richard Fury, who played at Poco, Chris Hillman, of course, played at the Byrds, and the Flying Burrito Brothers, and J.D. Suther, who was or had some success as a solo artist. And this is released on Asylum. This is a UK first press. It's the same with Manassas. I have the first record of this band, and I'm just glad that I got the next one for a very fair, reasonable price, and I can't wait to give it a spin. It's like West Coast, a bit of country rock style. I just really love it, or at least like the first record. So can't wait to listen to this. And the next one, I got this one too at Freiburg, and this was a super great deal. When I saw the record, it was at a €5 spin or something. So it's like the kind of the not so good stuff, cheap price records all at one place, and it's called The Ultimate Prophecy by J.D. Blackfoot. And I thought like, okay, the cover looks interesting. I've heard about J.D. Blackfoot, but I wasn't looking for this record in particular. And at the store there were some record players, so I could give it a spin. I listened to it and I really enjoyed it. It's kind of a psych rock music, which I really like. And this one was released in the Netherlands. It's the original press, and I just did some research on it, and it turns out it's actually not that common. Like on Discogs, it's sold at median for like €60 or something. So it was a really great deal because actually I just wanted to buy it because I was curious about it. The cover looked interesting, and it turns out to be like the best deal of the trip to Freiburg. So I'm really glad that I got this one. So the next things I'm going to show to you is it's all from Hamburg, and most of the stuff. Oh no, there's one more left from Nuremberg. Eric Byrne and the Animals. The Twain Shall Meet Again. It's a re-release on MGM Records. I think it's from the late 70s, but still sounds very good, and it was also like a very good price. There's one nice store in Nuremberg. It's called Books and Records, I think, and like you can see when there are a lot of price tags on the record, I've removed them. These are old ones. And you can see that he was reducing the price over a long period and was get cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. And at the end, like if there are a lot of stickers, you get like a really good, fair, or a very cheap price. So I got this one. It sounds really cool. It's like a long psychedelic trip, both sides. It's like there are actually no breaks between the songs. It's more like one big flow, one big stream of songs, and really enjoyed it. Yeah, it's a nice psych one. Yeah, as I said, so the next stuff, it's all from Hamburg. Like the first day, we went to a flea market, and as we arrived quite late in Hamburg, we got to the flea market very late too. So I thought like, okay, what are the chances to get like good records for good price? But just the first guy selling records, it was insane. It was like he had a great collection. So first of all, he had great records. Some I've never seen before. Then he had very fair and reasonable prices. And at the end, he told me, yeah, like as you know, like today every record is half price. So I checked the whole thing again, and just at the flea market, I spent all the money I planned to spend on the trip, but it was definitely worth it because there's so many cool records that I wanted to get for such a long time, just to give it a spin and listen to and get into new musicians, and it was just great. It was insane. It was like a candy shop, and yeah, that's the part about a flea market. So the first one I got is Ian Matthews. It's called Belly High. This is a US press on the Electro label, as you can see with the original in the sleeve. I know Ian Matthews a little bit. I've listened to some of the records that were released on Vertigo. I don't know anything about this one, but I like his kind of style of music. I also enjoyed Matthews' stuff in Comfort, which had a hit with Woodstock, which some of you might know. So I thought like, okay, €2, let's give it a try. Just listen to it. Yeah. But so far there was no chance. So I'm still looking forward to listen to it. Same with the next one. This one's called Buffalo. Rock and country music. Also didn't know anything about a band, but I like country rock a lot, like Eagles, the Byrds, of course. So I thought like, okay, nice title. It looks cool. Turns out it's a Danish band, and I don't think they have like one other album, and I didn't know anything about it, but it was a cool price. So I thought like, okay, get into new music, get into new bands, so give it a try. So that's the reason why I got this one. The next one is Brewer and Shipley. Welcome to Riddle Bridge. I got another Brewer and Shipley record like around New Year's Eve this year, and I really enjoyed it. So I said, okay, I want to get more of their stuff, especially with the prices at the flea market. So it was very cool to say, okay, let's give it a spin, give it a try, and listen to it and check it out. So I can't wait to listen to it because I really enjoyed the one I got before. It's like kind of West Coast folk country style with really lovely singing harmony. So yeah, I can't wait to listen to it. Also, next one, Robin Trower, the original guitarist playing for Procol Harum. This is still a record, Long Mystery Days, on, I don't know how to pronounce it, Chrysalis. Maybe it's a very German way to pronounce it, Chrysalis. It's a mix of blues rock, hard rock, subscribed on Discogs, and I've just heard that Robin Trower was like really big in the US for some time, or at the time of the 70s when he left Procol Harum. But didn't have a chance to get any of his solo records so far. This is the first one, and can't wait to listen to it. Next band, New Riders of the Purple Sage. This is a country rock band from, I think, California. Like they're working in the same area, like the Grateful Dead, also like Jerry Garcia, and I think it was Bill Kreutzmann. Yeah, the guitar player and drummer for the Grateful Dead. They were original members or part-time members of the band, and this is, I think, their second album. And I also knew I Don't Need No Doctor, which is a great cover of the classic. So I said, like, I really want to give it a try. This is I think the original US pressing, and yeah. Also, I think like I really like the great cover art. Next one, Genesis, Wind and Wuthering. I hope I pronounce it correctly. This is, I think it's the second record after the Peter Gabriel left, and the last one with Steve Hackett. If I'm wrong, it might be a trick of the tail, but yeah, I think this was released after that, and it's the last one with Steve Hackett. So with him still in the band, it has more of a prog rock influence, more complex songs, longer jams, and all that. And it was actually the last record missing from that period. Like, I'm not that big fan of Genesis of the 80s, and after Steve Hackett left, so with this record, I got all the records starting from Genesis to Revelation, to this one when Peter Gabriel and Steve Hackett left, so like the prog rock era. Yeah. Next one is J.J. Cale, Troubadour, and it's a German pressing on Philips. Don't know what to say about J.J. Cale. I think he's like not that unknown, like especially with Eric Clapton covering a lot of the songs. One of this one, or maybe the most famous one, Cocaine. And I really enjoy about J.J. Cale's like really laid back blues music with not that much instrumentation. It's like a very cool, as I said, laid back sound, and I really enjoy it. And I'm glad that I got this one. Also with the version of Cocaine, which I prefer over the Eric Clapton one. I'm really glad I got it. Next one I was looking for a long time too. It's the Beach Boys in concert. And what I really wanted, well, why I really wanted this record is because it's from the early 70s, 72 and 73. And they play it's not like just the hit show, just playing all the number one hits that everyone knows, like yeah, you know, fun, all that. It's like a good mix. They play those songs too, like Had Me Around Like California Girls, Wouldn't It Be Nice, Sleep Jumpy, but also they play a lot of the songs that were released at this time on the record Holland, like Sail on Sailor, stuff like that. And they also play a lot of songs from the Pet Sounds album, but not only, as I said, the hits, but for example, like You Still Believe in Me, which is as one of the best Beach Boys tracks ever. Is on this one too in an interesting live version. So I was really curious about how the band would perform and play those songs on stage at this special era of the band. So yeah, I'm glad that I finally got it. Also for a nice price, and it sounds, I'd say it sounds interesting. I would say I prefer the studio versions because like the instrumentation on this one is very reduced, like they don't have all the equipment on stage and they can reproduce the songs as they are on record, but it's still very interesting to listen to it. Right, the next one, Creedence Clearwater Revival, Pendulum, with a lovely gatefold and a just beautiful picture of John Fogerty standing in front of the audience. This is the original German pressing on Bellophone/Fantasy. As you can see on this little text here, if you're looking for Bellophone first or original pressings, they started to, or if they're not, like, I think they started like the mid 70s to change it, but if you have like the text here, especially like the German pressings, you can see those are the original ones. Like later pressings, they put the catalog number over there and this text is removed, so by that you can easily detect the original pressings. And this one I really like, especially with Wish I Could Hide Away, which is I think my all-time favorite CCR track. And I'm glad that I finally got this one because CCR records, they're good to find, but in a good shape. In the original press for a fair price. That's the point. But this one worked out just fine for me. It looks great. The cover looks really good. The cover, the record plays really nice, and I'm really glad I got it. Just like with every other record, to be honest. Next one, Peter Green in the Skies. It's great, really. Like Peter Green played for Fleetwood Mac, the first incarnation, like the blues, as a British blues rock band. And this one's released on green vinyl on Creole Records. To be fair, there are songs on it that I really don't enjoy. I think they sound a little bit like going to a vacation and listen to beach songs at a bar, but there are also like really incredible songs on it, like 7 Stars, which I really adore, at Postal, and of course the title track In the Skies. It's really great. I knew the songs on this record before I got it on vinyl, but again, I got it for a very, very nice price. I could bargain a little bit with the sellers, though. I'm really happy that I got it. Yeah, good decision, definitely. Next one is Joni Mitchell, Blue, one of the classic West Coast records. Usually I'm not so much into female singers, but this record is just insane. It's just mostly like only Joni Mitchell's voice, one or two instruments playing, mostly the guitar, but also some exotic instruments, and it's just fantastic. It's a great record to listen to. It's like you can put it on the record and just listen and dream away. That's the perfect record for that. So I highly recommend Joni Mitchell. Blue. Next one is really great too. Stephen Stills. It's his hard to say. It's his first record as a solo artist when Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young went different directions. This is the UK pressing on Atlantic. So like that, yeah. It's great. In the last or the one before Hall, I showed you Stephen Stills' second solo album, which is called Two. This one is just great. It's amazing. It like I think I even prefer it over his second solo album. It's a lot of gospel on it, a lot of great voices, choir singing, and his guitar playing is just incredible. He's one of my all-time favorite guitar players and one of my favorite composers, and it's just really great. So I highly recommend this one too. Let's see. The next one is Donovan, Where You Love Like Heaven. This one is not that common, at least like in Germany. So I was happy to see it, to buy it, to get a good price for it. It's released, or it's from the Netherlands. It's a really nice pressing. It's the first press from '67. And when I first get into Donovan, my favorite track was actually Where You Love Like Heaven, which is, of course, on this one. So I always wanted to get this album of his, and so far, so I didn't listen like to the other stuff, but just for Where You Love Like Heaven, it was worth it to get a record. So highly recommend it. It's more like a psych rock, more like psych pop side of, or psych folk maybe, something like that of Donovan. So it's really great to have this one finally. The next one, I didn't plan to buy it, but it was so cool. It's called Cactus, Restrictions, and Cactus is the follow-up band from Vanilla Fudge. So some musicians from that band are playing here, and as I said, I didn't plan to buy it, but it was, as you can see, it's a white label test pressing, so it's just all white, and I thought like, wow, why don't I have this in my collection? I really like Vanilla Fudge. I've heard about Cactus. I always wanted to get into their discography, and I thought like, okay, this is maybe the best way to start with it, to get a white label test pressing. From France, by the way. Yeah, this is a French pressing. So yeah, Cactus, Restrictions. And the last one for this part, which is over 20 minutes. Okay. It's the Incredible String Band. I think this is quite a famous cover. At least I've seen it quite a lot of times when people talk or discuss about like 60s cover art. So I think this is one very great example for all the colorful, mystic, fantasy like covers that were. Yeah. The record itself, of course, the 5,000 Spirits, or the Layers of the Onion. It's on the original Golden Electro label. So it's a German first press from 1968. To be honest with you, I've never seen that record before. Never had a chance to buy it at all. And this was like also from the guy with the half price of the day. So I got a really, really great deal on this one. Like he had so many cool and great iconic records, and I don't know why people didn't buy it, especially for the prices, but I'm really glad that I got there and could fill up my collection with those great records. Yeah, that's it for today. I will I think record the next part in the next few days, and we'll release it too. And I hope I see you then again. Bye.